Hello, and thanks for joining us for this AfterMaths episode of the Primary Maths Podcast, the show where we talk all things primary maths. I'm John Cripwell.
And Becky Brown.
Hello, Becky. Happy Easter. It is Good Friday. How are you this Easter?
Yes, I'm very well, thank you. The sun is shining. It's marginally warmer, I would say. I like to do a little bit of a weather update, as you know.
Yeah, I'm in a t-shirt, and yes, the little heater is on, but it's not. It's not too bad at the minute. And as I say, I can see blue skies out the window, which is lovely. It makes a nice change. I dare say, given that it is the bank holiday weekend, rain will not be too far away. But that's how it goes.
That's okay.
I am sure for the listeners and people watching on YouTube, if you are working in education, I'm sure you are very much glad of the Easter break. Now it's here. I hope you're spending it wisely, whether that's just resting, recuperating, relaxing with a book, or whether you're one of those people that like to be out and about and doing things all day, every day. Which camp do you fall into, Becky?
Well, I'd love to say the second one, out and about doing things, but it is definitely the first. I think Easter holidays and longer holidays that are longer than a week, I think probably I'd spend the first week when I was teaching just relaxing and enjoying not having to think about school. And then the second week, maybe being a little bit more busy. But and when the children were young, of course, you sort of have to get out and about and do things. But now mine are older and sometimes not awake before lunchtime. I sort of embrace the chilling out aspect a bit more. How about you, John?
I used to spend the first few days of any holiday with a bit of a headache, actually, which I think was just that kind of, you've been going at 1,000,000 miles an hour and all of a sudden you stop, and it takes a little while to wind down, doesn't it? So, yeah, I, again, a bit like you, would like to think that I was out and about making the most of it, but I think sometimes you just need a bit of chill time, don't you? Just to relax and recuperate and recharge, and anything else starting with re. So, I hope if you are listening and you are working in education, working in schools, and it is your Easter break, I know some schools have only just broken up, which feels very late. But I hope you're having a good Easter weekend. This is our AfterMaths episode. So we put these out every week, actually, don't we, Becky? Every Friday, these are here. They're the slightly more light-hearted take on primary maths, I would say, and education generally. We don't always stick to the primary maths remit.
No.
And every Tuesday we have an interview episode, but those are only during term time. So no interview episode this week, but I did record a fascinating interview yesterday, all around dyscalculia. So look out for that coming up, because it was very interesting with a couple of very special guests. That work is ongoing. So check out we've got lots and lots of interview episodes that you can go back and have a listen to. But every Friday we are here for the AfterMaths episode. So if you wouldn't mind leaving us a little like, review, or subscribing so that you don't miss an episode, we would very much appreciate it. Call it a little Easter gift to us. We would definitely appreciate that. Or share it with a colleague or a friend, or just a family member, anybody really. Doesn't matter if they like maths or not. That's the point, isn't it, Becky?
Yes, as you say, John, we try to keep on the subject of maths education, but often go a little bit awry on an AfterMaths episode. There's always a link there somewhere.
Yeah, tenuous it might be, but it is there. And that is, today is no exception, given that it is the Easter holidays now for everybody. We thought that people would appreciate perhaps, a little bit of an Easter treat. And so you'd be glad to know that there isn't really any school talk today, particularly, apart from this first little bit, perhaps, which I was just thinking, Becky, here at Twinkle, we have got every resource that you could think of under the sun, pretty much. If you want it, if you think of it, it is probably there. And if it isn't already, we'll be more than happy generally to make it for you, won't we? So I was thinking about this and Easter and things. And how I used to do Easter maths in the last sort of week sometimes. Not when I was in year 6 so much, because you know what year 6 is like, but in
Yeah.
other year groups, it might not have been Easter maths, it might have been Easter literacy or Easter history or something, or an RE focus perhaps. But there was a talking of tenuous links, as we did, a slightly tenuous link to whatever time of year it was. And I was sort of just thinking about that a little bit, really. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all in terms of piquing children's interest and engagement and things like that. It makes sense, doesn't it, to talk about what's happening at the moment. And in fact, as I'm thinking about that, last night, I don't know about you, Becky, but I stayed up to watch the launch of the Artemis 2 mission that is going to fly around the
Ah,
moon. It was absolutely fascinating. The largest rocket that NASA has ever launched. It was, yeah,
wow.
massively impressive. And I was just thinking, I would have, if I'd been in school today, I'd have been talking about that with the class, because it's good to talk about current things and keep on topic, and context is king, isn't it?
Definitely.
But I think there is a difference between those kind of using the context as decoration. So, for example, if I was writing a word problem, changing out bread rolls for hot cross buns because it's Easter, as I say, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's fine. It's a little nod to the time of year. It's another way of just engaging the children a little bit, I guess. But then, for instance, using the context to actually find the maths, which I think is possibly slightly more interesting, but sadly not something that we always have time for in such a crammed curriculum. So, I was thinking
Mm.
about investigating how much chocolate there really is in an Easter egg, for example, compared to just a normal bar of chocolate, and whether that's good value for money when you're spending, I don't know, some of these larger eggs, you can be spending £15, can't you, on a
Yeah, I
bigger Easter?
bet it's not value for money.
No, I saw one, somebody on a social media channel that went to buy the £750 Harrods Prada egg, which,
Whoa.
was quite large, but otherwise I would say relatively unimpressive for that sort of money. I'd want an egg that was, yeah, going to last me the rest of the year, I think, for 750 quid.
Yeah. Was it a
So
hollow egg as well? Was it
yeah,
a hollow egg?
hollow egg, hand
Oh,
decorated, and I would
no.
say that you could tell that it was hand decorated, because it didn't look particularly, yeah. I mean, who am I to judge? But it did not look quite £750 worth. Although the person tasting it said it tasted delicious.
Well, I'd hope so.
Yeah, yeah. If you've had a £750 Harrods slash Prada egg, please do let us know. Send in a little bit. We'd love to sample it. Um, but yeah, just thinking about that idea, Becky, of the difference between using the context to kind of dress up the maths, or finding the maths in the context a little bit.
Yeah.
And those sort of two different approaches there.
One is definitely an easy fix, isn't it? And you're not changing any structure anywhere there, really. You're not changing any maths in any way. You're just, like you say, dressing it up as something a little bit different, which can be amazing for engagement, or particular children who have a particular favorite theme of something. Sometimes being able to do that quickly is really valuable. But you're right, finding the maths in something, as we know, we talk about the maths of life often, and sometimes trying to find the maths of something, it can take time, and I think the value is greater, but the time that it would need to make a valuable, meaningful maths lesson might just not be possible,
No, that's right. And
sadly.
so, yeah, I think spotting those opportunities are great, aren't they? And even if you can't make it work within your lesson, it's possibly still worth talking about. Has anybody considered this? Go away and investigate it in your own time. Go
Yeah,
and ask your parents. Go and talk about it with whoever. I think just raising the awareness of the fact that maths is all around us can be really powerful. Um, but it is a little bit sad that we can't just write off the rest of the day and investigate the volume
yeah,
of the average Easter egg. In terms of the ratio of empty space to Easter to chocolate, all that sort of thing. It's all there, isn't it? The amount that
And
you could do with an Easter egg is fantastic.
amazing. Yeah, and weighing it and thinking about, it would be great. And I think that used to be the case a bit more than it is now, but time is so precious, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So as I say, I'm not at all railing against the idea of using the context of different times of the year and different, World Cup maths and all that sort of stuff. I think it's all brilliant because it is all
Yeah.
ways of getting children talking about maths and engaging them, in the lesson. And any time that we can adapt lessons to make them more suitable for our pupils, it's got to be a good thing, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But I'm just worried that we might do that at the expense of actually looking at what's around us and the opportunities that we have. So that was my thought for the day, I guess, Becky.
It's great.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Now, let's get back onto slightly firmer territory here when it comes to these specials, because we did a Christmas special, and I sort of dropped this on you, didn't I, Becky,
Oh, no.
that I was going to be throwing some questions your way for you to attempt to answer. I'm going to do that again. I've got some Easter themed, going on that idea of trying to find the maths in Easter. I've got some Easter themed maths questions. They're not really maths questions, more statistics, I suppose. There's maths there. There's definitely maths there.
No.
But I'm not going to ask you to do any complex calculations or anything.
I think I might be better at a complex calculation than it is with some of these things you asked me to guess or
it's the
estimate,
guessing,
Jon.
isn't it? Yeah,
Oh, no.
it's the guessing. Yeah. I know. But you haven't had anything changed in your contract yet to say that I can't make you guess things. So I am going to continue to try and make you guess things.
Great.
Let's start with something relatively straightforward, Becky.
Yes,
you know how
please.
many people live in the UK roughly, so this should be straightforward. How many Easter eggs do you think are eaten in the UK each year?
Oh,
We're talking Easter eggs, not cream eggs or
that was going to be my question.
caramel eggs or anything like that.
So an actual, like a boxed Easter egg.
That's right.
A silly guess. I just know it. Okay, well, it's going to be It's going to be millions. I mean, I think most, or is it going to be millions? What is the population of the UK?
It's around about 70 million, isn't it?
Okay.
If that helps. I'm not suggesting it does help, but
you'd think not everybody, of course. Most people would have one, I think. Well, not everybody observes Easter, but does that matter? Would you still have one? Okay, I'm going to go.
We're just going to do a quick cut here, and when we come back, Becky will have an answer for us. So there's a little montage here. We'll just cut here and then come back. Okay. So, Becky, have you got an answer for us there on?
I'm going to guess 55 million.
I think that is an entirely sensible guess. Entirely sensible.
Oh, good. Okay.
It's not correct, but it's an entirely sensible guess.
Of course it isn't. Okay.
So the actual answer is hard to quantify, but the most common estimates are between 80 and 90 million chocolate Easter eggs sold each year, which is more than the population of the UK, which is frightening. Although, I reckon I'm going to intend to eat more than one Easter egg this weekend, probably, or certainly over the next week. So, maybe that's it. But, that 70 million also includes babies and things who
wouldn't have
assuming,
one.
probably not eating an Easter egg. But it's a big business, isn't it? So
that is massive, yeah.
The average child in the UK receives between 8 and 9 Easter eggs each year, which is madness. And Easter chocolate accounts for roughly 10% of the UK's annual spending on chocolate, with spending over £400 million on chocolate eggs annually. And the downside of that, of course, other than the work that dentists have to put in, I suppose, is that these eggs generate approximately 8,000 tons of packaging waste annually.
Yeah.
So, good if it can be recycled, I guess, but something to be aware of.
Yes, because if you think about the amount, it's a math here, but you think about the amount of packaging used to package an egg, a hollow egg, as
A
opposed
small
to
amount of
the same
chocolate.
amount of
Yeah,
chocolate.
yeah.
Yes.
A
Oh,
relatively small amount of chocolate. I mean, when you think about it, an Easter egg, how much chocolate actually is there in an Easter egg?
I feel like if I'm lucky enough to get an Easter egg at the weekend, I'm going to have to weigh it and see.
Well, I I think, that the small eggs are around 100 grams of chocolate, and the larger eggs are typically sort of between 150 and 200 grams. Now, 200 grams is a
Just a chocolate bar.
yeah, a chocolate bar, a large chocolate bar, isn't it? It's not like your,
Yeah.
individual sized chocolate bar, but a chocolate bar that you might
But
share if the other person's lucky, which is quite a small amount of packaging for that, isn't it? Just a little bit, but yeah. So we're talking volume and volume of packaging and things. All that empty space inside, not necessarily great for the environment. Not that we want to put a downer on Easter eggs, but yeah, something to bear in mind. Okay,
yeah. Okay.
slightly off piste here.
Okay.
I will forgive you for not having a clue about this one. But
Okay.
they don't just make chocolate Easter eggs, do they? What other things could you make out of chocolate at Easter?
Like those nests.
Yeah, chocolate nests. Yeah, not what I'm looking for, but you're quite right.
Bunnies.
Bunnies. Bunnies. Okay. But who wants just an average chocolate Easter bunny? We're not interested in that, Becky. We are
Okay.
interested in the largest ever, the Guinness World Record winning chocolate bunny. I can tell you when it was made, if that helps. It was made in 2017
Okay.
in Brazil, and it took 9 professionals 8 days to complete the building of this large bunny.
Wow.
I will let you give me in kilograms or pounds. How much do you think this chocolate bunny weighed? Or
Was
I
it?
suppose, what was the mass?
Was it a hollow?
It was a hollow.
Is it a hollow, like a big version of a bunny that you might have wrapped in
Exactly that. Yeah,
foil?
exactly that.
Okay. Oh, okay. Kilograms. Let's think.
Well, actually, I'm not sure if it was hollow. That is a very good point. I
Oh,
don't know if it was hollow. It just says it was a sculpture of a bunny, um, and they worked for 8 days on it. But maybe it wasn't hollow, Becky. I'm going to
well,
say,
that's going
looking
to
at this,
affect
I'm
my
not sure that it
guess.
was hollow. I don't think it was hollow.
So let's assume it's a block of chocolate. Okay, and it's the biggest. Is it the biggest or the heaviest?
It
Or
says it's
both?
got the award for the largest chocolate sculpture of a rabbit.
Right. So I'm just imagining how big it might be. Okay, I'm just going to say 300 kilograms. But I don't know if that's
Okay.
okay.
You're slightly off there by like a factor of 10.
Oh
Um,
no.
yeah. So this
Okay.
rabbit was 4.5 meters high, 2.1
Wow.
meters wide, and 1.76 meters long. And it weighed
Okay.
an impressive 4,245 and a half, don't forget the half, kilograms, which is about just over 9,000 pounds. Which
Whoa.
incidentally is probably what I will weigh after Easter this year. Just going on the amount of chocolate there, but yes.
I mean,
So yeah, that's
that is.
impressive, isn't it?
If I'd realised it was that big, I might have doubled my
I
guess.
mean,
I would not have been anywhere close
9
to
professionals,
4,000.
8 days to make, Becky. The clue is
Yeah,
there. So
but
these are
was that?
professional chocolate bunny makers. They're not going to
But is
mess
it the
about, are they? Yeah.
intricacies of the design? Might have been that. I don't know. I want to see it. I'm going to have to look it up.
Yes. Yeah, you should. I haven't actually seen a picture of it myself. Actually, I've seen some of them making it, but I haven't seen the
Oh,
actual
what did they do
finished
with it? What
product.
happened to? What happened to
I
it
don't know. They
after it
probably
was?
ate it. They're probably still eating it. It was 9 years ago. It's probably still, being consumed, I would imagine. But yeah,
Oh,
4 tons of chocolate bunny. Yeah.
and
Roughly the weight of
where
a
was
small
it?
car, really. In Brazil.
Yeah.
In Brazil. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Sorry, that was terrible.
I'm not going to ask you when the first chocolate Easter egg was made because there's some debate over that. But I can
Okay.
that there is no debate over when the first chocolate Easter egg was manufactured in Britain. So when do you think that might have happened? And I will give you to the nearest decade. How about that?
I don't think that's going to help me, but thank you.
That's all right. Nothing if not generous. It is Easter after all. Good Friday and all that.
Well, I think it's going to be. I don't even know if I'm going to get the right century. So, manufactured chocolate egg.
Yep.
1872.
No, you are, as they say on another famous music quiz, 1 year out. You are 1 year out. That is incredible, Becky. Well done. Round of applause. Fantastic.
Oh my goodness.
So, chocolate eggs had certainly been around since the 1820s in Europe, okay? You know, those Europeans, they like to get ahead of these curves, don't they? But France and Germany were making them in the early 19th century. And they were typically solid and made from a dark, bitter chocolate because moulding techniques for hollow eggs had yet to be fully developed. But the British chocolate company J.S. Fry and Sons, so Fry's Chocolate, I'm guessing, produced the first hollow chocolate Easter egg in the UK in 1873. And then some small startup down the road called Cadbury's jumped on the bandwagon in 1875, so a couple of years later, and theirs was made of dark chocolate and filled with sugar almonds. So there you go.
Wow.
That was very impressive. You made up for your bunny error with an impressive.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's great that the one I was good at guessing had nothing to do with maths, but more to do with history.
I mean,
but that's okay. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough.
So, what is your Easter egg of choice then, John?
A chocolate one.
Yeah. Yes.
Definitely a chocolate one. Actually, a tough one, isn't it? It is tough. There's so much choice. I am just grateful, Becky. I'm grateful if anybody would care enough to buy me an Easter egg. I would be grateful and delighted.
The magic of Easter.
I need to be careful not to go into too many brands here, don't I? Otherwise, you know what will happen? Next week, the front garden will just be full of deliveries of chocolate from these brands saying, thank you so much for mentioning us on the podcast. And I just don't have the space to store it all, I'm afraid. But I'm a simple man, Becky. I am a fan. I don't want you to mess too much with the actual chocolate of the egg itself. Give me a fairly straightforward chocolate egg. Some accessories with it would be nice, But I'm a simple man. I'll tell you what I do miss though. Can you remember when the Easter eggs used to come with like a mug or something?
I was about to say the same thing. I was about to say, do you still get that? Maybe you don't. That was great when it would come in a mug.
I've not seen them on the shelves this year. Otherwise, I would have bought one by now. And I don't have any of the old mugs left. They've all been lost to the mists of time, I'm afraid. So, bring that back. Let's start a campaign for that for next year. I want a mug with my Easter egg. I don't know why. I mean, a cup of tea and an Easter egg, what's better? But, How about you, Becky? What's your favourite type of Easter egg?
Like a little egg, like a cream egg. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Cream egg or similar.
I mean, that's not necessarily a brand, is it? There are
a small filled egg rather than a hollow egg.
Really?
Would be my preference.
Really?
However, I have tried, again, I won't give it away, but I have tried a new egg on the market thinking, that sounds great.
Were you invited to test it? Do they value your opinion that much, Becky?
That would be amazing.
Another secret,
secret taster.
Yeah. So a new egg on the market this year.
Well,
and you have been able to sample it.
Well, I'm not the only one. It's out in the ether.
The secret's out,
but it was too much.
Was it?
There was too much going on. Yeah. The listeners might guess which one I'm alluding to, but yes, give me just a little small filled egg. That's fine.
Well, I'm sure the listeners, if they're still listening at this point, will be thrilled to know what our favourite Easter eggs are. I really tuned in for some maths this week and found out, some statistics based on a sample of 2 that we don't want fussy Easter eggs. Give us normal ones and preferably
Don't give
ones
us
with mugs.
£750. Yeah, a
Yes.
mug.
Yeah, no £750 Easter eggs are badly decorated. Honestly, go and have a look at it. It's nothing special for 750 quid. I was thinking what I could do with that 750 quid. I could buy a lot of Easter eggs and some mugs.
Yeah.
And bring that back. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think, Becky, we will wrap it up there actually for this week. We will be back next week, believe it or not, with another AfterMaths episode. And I've got some history of maths for you in that one, and possibly an etymology as well. So things that came up this week that I've made notes on, but haven't investigated quite enough yet to be able to talk at length. Not like I can about Easter eggs. So I actually need to do some research ahead of that episode. But we will be back then, and then we'll be back the following Tuesday with another interview episode, which I will tell you all about next week. But in the meantime, I hope you have a fantastic Easter break, and we will see you next Friday.
Yeah, thanks for joining us today. See you next time.
Take care, everyone. Goodbye.